Oh, what's up, guys? How we all doing? Yeah, I know it says no signal back there. That would be because I don't have my gaming PC on tonight. Because I'm not using it tonight. I've got this box sealed with Wizards saran wrap. And we're going to open a box of Core Set 2020 tonight. There's some cards I need for an upcoming tournament this weekend and next weekend. So we're going to crack into it. We're going to talk about some Magic. We're going to talk about my thoughts on Magic 2020, which I think is probably one of the best core sets they've done. So we're going to talk about that. Yeah, just have a good night, good conversation. Hopefully open some beautiful cards. I actually went to a card shop, my local game store, after work today to see, like, I got some cards that I needed, and I had just opened, if you want to check it out on my YouTube, open a box of Modern Horizon, and then also opened a box of, well, I did Pack Wars, but in the end opened a box of War of the Spark. So I had a lot of cards that, to be honest, there were, I don't play that style of Magic, some of the different colors. I've been playing Magic since Portal, and there's just some things that I just don't like doing, regardless if it's meta or not. I don't like that style of play, so I don't play that. So I offloaded, I think, what amounts to about, I didn't realize my trade binder was so stocked. Like, I knew I had a couple cards from the most recent set that were pretty good as far as value. Yeah, I offloaded close to $500 worth of cards from that trade binder, and then I picked up some because I need some for this weekend. So that's a thing. All right, let's. I set this up right before the stream, so we'll see if it works here. You'll get to see my beautiful legs here. Yeah, for some reason, the recent Streamlabs update broke my transition, so I apologize for that. I apologize, but there it is. M20. Beautiful box there with our wonderful Chandra on it, which I believe this set had 4 Chandras. So if you're a fan of Chandra Pyromancer, or any of her, Chandra is big in this set. It's just like, hey, what Planeswalker should we push in this set? Let's push Chandra because everyone likes to blow stuff up. Everyone likes to blow stuff up. There we go. All right. Let's break the saran wrap. Oh, that was easy. Well, that was easy. Saran wrap's gone. Oh, it's beautiful. How do they? How do they stick this down? Ha ha! We did it. We. Yeah. All right, I consider that. All right. I brought myself a trash bag in because, well, you guys get to see a little leg, right? Didn't hurt you. I brought a trash bag in because I know how many freaking packs these are. Yeah. So let's just start here. We've got Johnny is our first little wrapper here. Forgive me, so I can figure out how to do this in an intelligent fashion. Now, I don't know. Like, a lot of people have different ways they like to open card packs. I just like to go straight through them. Yeah. All right. So I played in the pre-release event, and there were some really cool cards that they did in this. So, it's kind of hard to. Is there a way to zoom with this camera? Oh, chat. Hold on. Properties. Configure. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Right there. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. All right, so what we got here? Sage Row Denizen. I believe this card actually in standard has a combo that you can do with it. I can't remember. Whenever another blue creature enters the battlefield under your control, target player puts the top 2 cards. Yeah, I think there's a mill combo or something you can do with that. So there you go. Reduce to ashes. Not bad. Bone Splinter is huge in limited. Great card for draft. Same with Brightwood Tracker. If you want to draft green, Brightwood Tracker is absolutely amazing. It's a 4-cost card for a 2/4, which is a decent blocker in this format of limited. But the 5 is like late game when you've got plenty of mana. A 5 and a green top. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature among them and put it into your hand. Like, yeah, that's a thing. Griffin Sentinel. Growth Cycle. It's green doing green things. Pack Mastiff. I don't even like the art on this card. Like, look at that. Look at that. Like, I don't even know. That is the creepiest, angriest. I don't even know. Soulmender, again, they brought back the vials and the wand and that kind of stuff, so there's a dude who can tutor for these, search for them. So that's a thing. Agonizing Siphon's been played a little bit in limited. Loyal Pegasus, again. Spectral Sailor. Now this guy is seeing play all over the place. Not only, not only does he have flash, which is amazing, but you can draw a card. 3 and a blue, draw a card, 1/1 flyer. Yes, please, sign me up. Diviner's Lockbox. And our rare, we're already there. Our rare is Repeated Reverberation, which they didn't want this at the shop today, so I'm assuming it's not worth much, but there you go on the rare. We got a mountain, and of course, a zombie, which after my War of the Sparks box, I have so many zombies, it's not even remotely funny in my token collection. Like, I love tokens, but holy crap, I don't need any more zombies. Mu Yan Ling is our next art we're gonna learn. Are these only Ajani? Oh no, we got more. I just saw a Soren. And no, I'm not talking about the Minecraft streamer. Ooh. Sign me up for this draft pack already if we were drafting. Lavakin Brawler. Elemental Warrior. Yes, please. Great card to draft in your elemental decks. Let me see here. Properties. Maybe I'll just turn autofocus back on. How about we don't turn autofocus back on and say we did? Oh, it's better. Let's see if we can bend this up. Oh, crotch shot. That's fine. I'm covered. It's fine. As long as you don't see my boobies, right? That's the offense that you can't see. Man, why does that keep... I want it to be like... Alright, that settled fine. Alright, so Lavakin Brawler. Again, if you're playing draft, this thing is... Yeah, give it to him. Give it to me. What was that? A Moment of Heroism. It's white doing white things. Blade Brand. Target creature gains Death Touch until end of turn and it draws you a card. If I was drafting black, I would pick that up. Natural End, destroy things. This is a great card. If you're playing any sort of draft and you have the opportunity, if you're in blue, even if you're not doing elementals, and this is amazing card. Allows you to you basically tap down a creature for a turn. It doesn't untap during the next untap. So this is a great card to kind of help you control the board. You know, blue doing blue things, but that's how it is. Again, stupid artwork. Pack Mastiff, Soulmender. We've seen that. Griffin Protector. Is this the same pack as last time? Mind Rot. Target player discards 2 cards. That thing's been reprinted how many times? I don't know how many different art forms I have of this in my boxes downstairs. Gruesome, was it Scourger? Gruesome Scourger. It's expensive. Does thing. There's another Spectral Sailor. See, this would be a decent. Man, I don't know what I'd pick if this was our pack to pick from. Salvager of Ruin. Choose a target permanent and card in your graveyard that was put in the battlefield this turn. Return it to your hand. Again, decent in draft if you have to pick something, I guess. There's a big boy. This thing in the flash deck is just... this thing is brutal. A 4 mana cost 2 and 2 green for a flash wolf that gives other... not only is it flash and it's 4/4 for 4, but it's got all this other text. But if you're getting a 4/4 for 4 at instant speed, you should already be thankful. But then you get all this other text, which is, if you're not aware, other wolves and werewolves you control gain +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't cast a spell this turn, create a 2/2 green wolf creature, which obviously if he's in play, it's a 3/3. So yeah, great card. Great card. And we got a foil unsummon. Oh, we got a gain land for... okay. Huh. I didn't think those were taking the spot of basic lands, but alright. An elemental token. We got a Ajani on the front of this one. Come on, Ajani, you're still alive for a little longer. They didn't take us back to Theros, so you're still alive. Alright, what do we get? Inspired Courage. Actually, this actually performed decent for me. It's very expensive, but instant speed +2/+1 until end of turn for all creatures. That actually did work for me at the pre-release and draft. It's definitely not a card you want to just target and get, but, you know, it's not that bad. God, I wish this... Yeah. It's more comfortable for me to, like, hold them here. Octo Prophet, again, this is a great card for draft. Allows you to scry 2. It's a 3/3 for 4. Again, a little 4 mana for a 3/3, but the scry is beautiful. Scorch Spitter, Elemental, as you'll see, and if you haven't looked at this set a lot, lots of Elementals in this set. So it's another one during your draft that if you want to, you know, put it in here. Whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. So it's a nice little ping in there, and it's only 1 for a 1/1, so that's not bad. Steadfast Sentry, Vigilance. When it dies, put a 1/1 counter on a target creature. Again, it could be used in draft. This card's actually not bad in draft if you can get like a 1/of in an elemental deck. It's a 6 mana cost for a 7/7. So you're already cashing in the value there. 6 mana for 7/7. Yep, that's value. Doesn't do anything else, but it is an elemental, which makes it, you know, good in this format. Epicure of Blood. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses a life. There's some degenerate things that you can do with life gain and stuff like that, so, you know. Heartpiercer Bow. This is part of the trio that comes with the vial that we saw earlier. It's again an card. Rabid Bite. Again, we've seen this printed before. Sorcerer of the Fang. Great card in draft, in my opinion. 2 mana for a 1/3, so it's already good blocker on the value. And then 5 and a green, tap it. Sorcerer of Fang deals 2 damage to target opponent or player. So late game, obviously, when it's kind of sitting back and just kind of blocking, you can still get value out of it by turning it sideways and pinging your opponent. So, non-foil, unsummon, Uncaged Fury, double strike, +1/+1 on a target creature. Moldervine Reclamation. Actually, I think Moldervine Reclamation is actually getting some play in Standard. Whenever a creature you control dies, you gain 1 life, draw a card because of the sacrificial stuff. I think this is the Golgari. It's getting played in Golgari. There's the wand. The wand is also part of that. I believe it's the last of the trifecta that we already saw in there. That we were in. Legion's End. Legion's End. Exile target creature and opponent controls with converted mana cost 2 or less. There's quite a bit of that in Standard and in Draft, obviously, but in Draft it's a little, it's a little harder. But, and all other creatures that player controls with the same name. So again, with all this elemental deck with like Risen Reef and all that kind of stuff, actually I think Risen Reef is 3 mana. Risen Reef, yeah, I think it's blue Simic and 1, I think so. So this is a cool card. It can knock off your, I think Leafkin Druids in this range. But definitely in other formats, there are definitely a lot of cards that can fall under this. Then that player reveals their hand, exiles all cards with the name from their hand and graveyard. So it basically gets everything, but it's basically a surgical extraction without the library. So there's that. Which the library is kind of important, but there's that. Playable card, definitely. And we got another gain land there, and the same thing we got last time with the 5/5. This thing killed me so many times during the pre-release. Screw this token. Let's get a different front thing. We've seen a Johnny and Mulang. There we go. There's a beautiful Sorin right there. Let's see what Sorin has to do with us today. Come on, Sorin, give us something pretty. All right, Frilled Sea Serpent. It's a 6 mana for a 4/6 blocker, 7 mana to make it unblockable this turn. If you have to take it and you're in blue, okay. Act of Treason. If you're drafting, this card terrifies people. If you have any red on the board whatsoever, people, especially the dinosaur people, are terrified of this. Dropping a big dinosaur and then just bang right back at you. Inspired Captain. Feral Abomination. 6 mana for a 5/5 Death Touch. If you want to draft one of, I guess, if you have to, Again, there's the Vorse Claw, which again I think is great. Great value of like a one of in your draft deck, maybe with a 7/7 for 6. Again, if you have to take it and there's nothing else of value in your elementals, even if you're just green big stuff, that fills the role. Shock. Everyone knows Shock. Stone Golem, 5 mana for a 4/4, but it's an artifact. This is actually not a bad card for limited. It's 5 mana, so it's kind of high, but it's a 5/4 trample, and when it dies, you get to draw a card. So just kind of throwing him at your opponent over and over and over again and being like, come on, block it because you're going to die if you don't. Not bad. 5 damage with a trample, so it tramples over the top of, a little bit over the top. Plus you get to draw a card when it dies, so, yep. Battalion Foot Soldier, you get to search for other cards, but I don't see this. This doesn't see play. Winged Words definitely sees play. It's actually quite nice. It's blue and 2, as you can see. This spell costs 1 less for each creature with flying. Lots of creatures in blue with flying, so you could potentially easily get away with a 1 mana draw 2 cards. So that's always good. Angel of Vitality. I actually haven't seen this one yet. Flying. If you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. Angel of Vitality gets +2/+2 as long as you have 25 life or more. So that's pretty good. Yes! Yes! I need 2 more of these for this weekend. Veil of Summer. Thank you. Veil of Summer is beautiful. Draw a card an opponent has cast, or draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn. Spells you control can't be countered this turn. And you and your permanents you control have a hexproof from blue and from black until the end of turn. This, 4 of them in my sideboard. I needed them. Yes. We're going to put this right over here so I remember. Ancestral Blade. It's actually a card that's not bad in draft. 1 white and 1. It creates a soldier that this is equipped to as soon as it comes into play. It gives any creature +1/+1. So it comes into play, makes a dude that's 1/1, and you get the nice +1/+1. So it comes in 2/2. You could easily move it to something else if you wanted to give the 1/1 to something else. So not bad. This dude, what can you say? He's 7 mana flying and he's angry. Art school. I don't think he's worth that much though. He's in the dual deck as well, but the one in the dual deck's not worth as much as the one out of the packs, obviously. Because the dual deck, you're guaranteed it. So, so we'll put that over there. Not too bad. Actually, am I running this? No, I'm not. It's a tap land. God, no. I'm not running a tap land. And a zombie, because, you can't have enough zombies. All right, Ajani, you haven't really treated us well so far, so I'm going to need you to step up. Actually, did Ajani get us the Night Pack Ambusher? He may have. Okay. Well, if this was our draft pack, I wouldn't be too mad opening to an Octo Prophet, because at least I have something to grab if nothing else is good. So that, Oh, and then Lavakin Brawler. There you go. Moreland Inquisitor, it gains first strike, which is kind of cool. It's a 2/2 with first strike. I don't necessarily know if white is that great in limited right now. It's definitely not seeing play in other formats. So, Convolute, I am a huge fan in draft format picking up counters because no one expects it. So I like to do that. Maybe it's a bad choice. Maybe that's why I always lose in limited, but you know what? I like them. Soul Salvage is a great card. Definitely seeing play in more than just drafting. Return up to 2 cards from your graveyard to your hand. So this, Thicket Crasher is actually quite good. 4 mana for a 4/3 trample and other elementals you have trample. The way they kind of did the elementals in this particular deck, or in this particular set, was like part slivers where they kind of give powers to other things, and then part just that creature gains stuff from other elementals. So it's kind of an interesting thing. I'm glad they kind of went with the elemental tribe and how they did it. It feels good to me. Centaur Courser, 3 mana for a 3/3. So you've got your value there. Not too bad. There's our Sorcerer of the Fang again. Again, we already talked about that. In limited play, this card's actually not too bad. 5 mana for a 3/3. And when it enters the battlefield, you may exile target creature from a graveyard. If you do, create a 2/2 zombie. So it's 5 mana for a 5/5, basically. You get 5 power and 5 toughness on the board for 5 mana. So, but it's not too bad. You've got cards in your graveyard that most likely you're not going to be able to bring back anyways, unless you have like Soul Salvage or something. So just chunk it and turn it into a zombie and move on and be happy. Maniacal Rage, it is what it is. It is what it is. This card is actually quite good. I like this card quite a bit in limited. I also like this card. It's seeing a little play in standard as well. Blue, white, and 1 for a flying. Creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. So it's basically like a bird lord, but it's a bird spirit. So spirit decks can use it as well. Spirits obviously fly, thus they all get +1/+1. So that's I kind of like that. Yarok's Finlurker. So I don't really have a problem with this. I actually think it's not too bad in limited if you are in black. But it's kind of cool. He comes into play, an opponent exiles a card from their hand. Obviously, card advantage is huge in Magic. And then you can pay it to buff it +1/+1 until end of turn. But just the enter the battlefield effect I think is nice because you gain card advantage over your opponent. So Woodland Champion, again, another card that's actually decent in limited. Whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, put that many +1/+1 counters on this guy. Not, there's not a whole lot of tokens, I don't think, in Limited, if I remember right. But I think this is seeing some standard play. But it's a two mana 2/2, so not too bad, especially if you get a card that can give you some tokens. So that's not too bad. I actually have the promo of this from the pre-release. This card actually won me a couple of games. It's a 5/1 white. When it enters the battlefield, you may you may have your life total become the total toughness of the creature of creatures you control. So you add up the total toughness of all the creatures that you control, and that can become it's a choice, right? You get to choose if you want that to happen. But the nice thing is, it's when he comes into the battlefield. So he's on the battlefield, and this goes on the stack, which means his 6 toughness adds into your already ridiculous board. So I think there was one game during the pre-release where I was like sub 15 health. He hits the board. The board was kind of at a stalemate, so I had a lot of creatures out. I think I popped up to like 35, 45 health. And, the other nice thing about this is 5/1, Luxodon Life Chanter gets XX until end of turn, where X is your life total. So you can, if you slam him, get a lot of life, next turn, if your life doesn't decrease that much, you've already paid that mana because you summoned him. Pay it, get all that stuff, turn him sideways. The only disadvantage, he doesn't have trample. So, someone can easily just chump block with him. We got a forest and a treasure. Ooh, this is my first treasure token in paper, so that's cool. Oh, I got Mu Yan Ling. Very different than, what's her name? Mulan. It's definitely different than Mulan. All right. So I love this card. It's definitely seeing standard play. It's definitely in Limited. Anticipate. Gives you the ability to look at the top 3 cards. Put one into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library. So, yep. Any type of card advantage you can do is great in Magic. So, Infuriate. Red doing red things. +3/+2 until end of turn. Only Infect ran red. Yeah. That's the thing. We already looked at this guy. He's meh. Fairy Miscreant, honestly, if you get left with these guys, they're not that bad because they're 1 mana for a 1/1 flyer, which can, your Empyrean bird eagle thing that we saw earlier, can obviously buff these things. But the nice thing is, if you have one in your hand or on the battlefield already and you play a second one, you draw a card. So that's kind of cool. But again, it's only a 1/1, so it can be a chump block, however you want. Epicure of Blood, we saw that one already. This, I think, is some of the cutest art. Look at that. Look at the little pup. Look at the little pup with mommy behind. Look at him. I think this is one of the cutest things. It's 3 mana, and you're like, why is it 3 mana for 0/1? Well, it does put a 2/2 wolf into, and it puts mommy into play, right? So if you get the Night Pack Ambusher, you could run these and make him a 1/2 and mommy a 3/3. So you could do some stuff, but overall, just a chump blocker. Doesn't really do much. We already looked at the Necromancer. I think it's good in Limited, but that's about it. Maniacal Rage and Boreal Elemental is definitely a card that in Limited is getting a lot of play. 1, it's an elemental. 2, it's flying. 3, it's a 3/4. And finally, spells your opponent to cast that target this thing cost 2 more. So it's got kind of a natural spell pierce on it. So that's actually kind of nice. Definitely seeing a lot of play in Limited. Rabid Bite, we already know that one. God's Willing, definitely seeing a lot of play everywhere. God's Willing is excellent. Yeah, and it scries. Definitely a card I've considered putting in my Infect deck, since there is some white in the Infect deck. Not sold on it just quite yet, but it has potential. It's kind of on the chopping block with a couple other cards, especially with Veil of Summer and that kind of stuff. It's definitely sitting there, specifically for the burn matchup. Vampire of the Dire Moon. It's 1 black for a 1/1 Death Touch lifelink. So where can you go wrong there? It's a chump blocker that kills and gives you life. So there you go. Cerulean Drake, definitely seeing play in a lot of different formats because it's pro red. And you get to counter a spell if you sacrifice it. So, that's a thing. There's a big boy. This guy sees a lot of play. He's seeing standard play. I don't know if he's seeing modern play. I don't think so, but he's definitely seeing standard play. He's definitely seeing limited play because he's a 3 mana for a 7/6. Holy shit. But at the beginning of your upkeep, discard a card if obviously he was in play. The thing is, play him after you play him as the last card in your hand and then always keep playing the card that you come out and you never have to discard to him. So, he can rumble and bumble there. Gain land for Orzhov, so that's kind of cool. And we got our wolf token. I kind of like that. We got Wolf Pup in that pack, and we got a wolf token. I remember when WotC always did that. If you had something in your pack that gave you a token, they would make sure the token was in the pack. They don't do that anymore. Which as a token collector, I know that sounds weird, but as a token collector, I kind of like the randomness. But if I'm drafting, I want those tokens that I need. All right, what do we got here? Goblin Smuggler, not too bad. It's a haste, so it's a 3 mana for a 2/2 haste. Another creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Kind of cool and limited, but that's about it. Goblins, they tried to bring back goblins, but in my opinion, they beefed it. So, raise the alarm. Create 2/1/1 white creature tokens for 2. Bone to Ash, counter target spell, draw a card for 4 mana. I don't think I ever drafted that when it was an option. When it was an option to draft that counter spell, I think I avoided that. Blood Burglar. As long as it's your turn, Blood Burglar has lifelink. That's not too bad. Greenwood Sentinel. I mean, he's a bear. He's the new bear. He's Vigilance. 2 mana for he's a bear. Leafkin Druid. Definitely a common card that's seeing play everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. It's 1 green and 1. Add 1 green mana pool. Unless you control 4 or more creatures, then add 2. So definitely seeing a lot of play there. Crosslinks, we already know what I feel about this. I think it's a great card. Yeah, I think it's great. The Arcanaut. Not to get it mistaken for Arcanaut, the streamer on Mixer, but Arcanaut. As long as it's your turn, it has flying. It's a 4 mana 3/2, so it deserves its common right. Unholy Indenture, an unholy indenture. Enchant creature. When enchanted creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under your control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Definitely some things you can do with this, but there's the Marauder's Axe. It's been reprinted multiple times. I love this card. I love this card so much. Not only because of the art, because of what it does. It's a 1 mana artifact that equipped creature gets +10 and loses flying. The downside, it's got an equip cost of 8. I would love to slam this into my Infect deck, but I would never get to equip it. Ever. Ever. The saddle creates a 2/2 green wolf, and the saddle goes on it. And the saddle gives +1/+1. It can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Equip cost of 3. Scampering Scorcher is definitely seeing play. It's a 4 mana. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 red elemental tokens, which again, all buff with all these elemental stuff. And it also says when elementals you control gain haste until end of turn. Right? So it comes into play, gives the 2 dudes haste, it gives itself haste, kerboom. Just swing. And then Mystic Forge, definitely seeing play places. Look at the top cards of your library at any time, so it allows you to look at that card. If you want to cycle, you can cycle. If you don't have to. You may cast the top card of your library. If it's an artifact card or colorless, non-land card. Right, so you can cast right off your library, which is nice. Tap, pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library. So it allows you to kind of fix your the top of your library. You know, I want to say I think a prison deck ran this not too long ago, so they can kind of control what that is. I think they run something else though as well. And we got I like the soldier art token. I think the soldier art token. I like some of the artwork that they've done on some of these new the new tokens. They're just, I don't know, they just look cleaner and nicer. The old ones look kind of chintzy. All right, so we got Fairy Miscreant. We already talked about that card. I think it's if you have to take it, you can take it. It's got some, you know, if you get multiples, you know, it does things. But Keldon Raider enters the battlefield. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. So, you know, little cycle action there. But again, here we get to see the wonderful Life of White, which doesn't really do much in this set, to be honest. Angelic Gift, enchant creature gets flying. Draw a card. The Fortress Crab, 4 mana for a 1/6. Duress is obviously a great card that people play in multiple. I don't think too many. I think Standard is really the only one that they're playing Duress in, because in you've got other things like Inquisition of Kozilek and Thoughtseize and things like that in Modern. So this kind of takes a back seat. But, you know, target opponent reveals their hand. Choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards. It's not horrible. You know, it's not bad. Natural End. There's Boreal Elemental. Again, I can't speak highly of this card enough if you can draft it and you've got elementals to draft. Ew, magic. Shut up, Spider. Maniacal Rage. Again, Centaur Courser, I still like this card though. Like, I really like the Necromancer. I think not only is the art look good, but I think I just think it's a good value card. You put 5 power and toughness on the battlefield, and it's for 5 mana. You play Magic, Spider. I don't want to hear it. You play it. Saying ew. Gravedigger. It's played in multiple formats. What can I say? It's a 4 mana for a 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's an angry little owl that you just posted there. This card has actually beat me once in draft. It's actually not bad. It's a 5 mana for a 4/4, and whenever you lose life, the first time in a turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. So, if your opponent like attacks you with like a little annoying bird over and over again, you just keep like racking him up. Like it kind of just puts a stone wall on the battlefield. It's like, here, go ahead and attack me. I'll take the damage and make my dude bigger. You know. Overcome. It's not bad and limited, but that's about all I'm probably going to see play. 5 mana gives all your creatures +2/+2 and trample. It's just so expensive. Oh, there's our first Chandra. This is our first Planeswalker of the box, and it's the Chandra that I guess is seeing a little bit of play. Acolyte of Flame. I guess she's seeing a little bit of play places. She pairs well nicely with some other things in different formats, but she's the 3 mana Chandra. She is the rare Chandra. Her no 0. Like her abilities are 0/0 and -2. All right, so she starts with 4 loyalty. You can 0 her, and she puts a loyalty counter on each red planeswalker you control. So technically, it's a +1, but she gives 1 loyalty to all red planeswalkers you control. Her other 0 is create 2 1/1 red elemental tokens. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of your next end step. So again, in an elemental deck, she's great. She creates these elementals. They get buffed. They have haste. They swing in. If they die, they die. They're gonna, whatever. It's just great. And her -2 is you may cast target instant or sorcery card from or with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. If your card would be put in the graveyard, put it in exile. So basically, her -2, she is a Snapcaster Mage. But yeah, so -2, she's a Snapcaster Mage. She's a red Snapcaster Mage. Right? So she's good. She's good. She doesn't fit into like all red decks though. Like, right? We've got Chandras in the past that fit into everything. She doesn't necessarily fit into everything, but she fits into a lot of things. And we got the what guild is that? What is blue white? What is that? Is that what guild is that? What's blue white? Someone tell me what blue white is. I don't remember. It's not the guild that I choose. But we got their game land. And then a wolf. What is blue white? Someone tell me what guild that is. Someone has to know what guild blue white is. The only thing I can think of is blue white control, which I hate playing against that. I also hate watching blue white control matchups because they take forever. Infuriate, again, Steadfast Century, Thrilled Sea Serpent, Reckless Airstrike. We haven't seen this one yet. It's Azorius. Thank you, Azorius. That's it. Reckless Airstrike. It's a 1 red. Choose 1. Reckless Airstrike deals 3 damage to target flying creature or destroy target artifact. So not too bad. Especially in limited. There's a lot of flyers, so this is not bad. Blade Brand, again, 2 mana for add Death Touch. Natural End. Boreal Elemental. Rabid Bite. Heart Piercer Bow. Chandra's Outrage. Not a bad card in limited. It's a 4 mana, 2 and 2 red. Chandra's Outrage deals 4 damage to target creature, 2 damage to that creature's controller. So it definitely knocks out a decent amount of the board that usually comes out in limited. And it does 2 damage to the face, so, you can't go wrong with that. Scholar of Ages. When Scholar of Ages enters the battlefield, return up to 2 target instants or sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. It is 7 mana for a 3/3, but if games go long, I guess you can use her. I still think she's a bit expensive. Disfigure is a great card in limited if you're splashing black or in black. It's a 1 black target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. So you can kind of dispatch some different things with that. What's up, Aaron? Definitely being played in standard as well for a lot of those decks that have like mana dorks right now, since Lanamore, as I call them, lawnmower elves, or the Lanamore elves are in play. Kill the mana dorks with this, so that's cool. The Blood-Soaked Altar. So this is the thing that I mentioned earlier when I died to so many, or I died to a deck because of so many 5/5 flying demons. This is why. 2 black and 4. Tap it, pay 2 life, discard a card, sacrifice a creature, create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. Activate this ability only in the time that you can cast a sorcery. So there is a skeleton in this set that has return card from graveyard for 1 black and 1. Comes back to your hand. What is your Discord? I lost your PM thread. I need to send you a friend request. Do I even have Discord up? Hold on. Yeah, I had people coming in here worried about you, Cebus. I'm like, I haven't heard from him. I had people coming in being like, have you heard from him? Is he alive? Let me find you here. Hold on. I just sent you a message on Discord. Okay, so this card, you return the skeleton. You know, you discard a card, you sacrifice a creature, creating just boom, 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 over and over again. So yeah. Flood of Tears, definitely a card that I can probably get some value out of the trade. It's being played quite a bit in some combos. 4 and 2 blue, return all non-land permanents to their owner's hand. If you return 4 or more token permanents you control, this way you may put a permanent card from your hand back on the battlefield. This has a combo effect that you can return your cards. It's kind of, yeah. So there's that. Hey, look, Simic. That's what I like to see. Simic, gain land and an elemental. All right. All right, you guys choose. We have a Johnny. We have Soren. Can't really see Soren because of the glare. And we have Mu Ying Ling. You guys choose. I'm getting a drink. Which one are we opening now? You got 3 choices. Which one are we opening? Someone pick something. All right, fine, I'll pick. I'm picking the cute Asian chick. Sorry, you guys lost out. You wanted another one. You should have spoke up. Speak now or forever hold your pee. You still have only opened 1 Veil of Summer. There better be another one in these packs. All right, what do we got here? Frilled Sea Serpent. Act of Treason, which I said, if you are in red and you're playing limited, just draft it. Just do it. Inspiring Captain, Epicure of Blood. Wolfkin Bond is a 5 mana, 1 green, and 4. When it comes into the battlefield, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token, enchanted creature, +2/+2. So you get 4 toughness on the board for 5. If you've got to take it, take it. With all the elementals and all the different colors in this set, this little dude is actually kind of nice. He's a 2 mana artifact that you pay 2 and you pay 2 to add mana of any color. He's a 2/1, but you don't even have to tap him, right? So you can just pay 2 mana and get a color of your choice. It is a little expensive, right? But if you're just splashing another color, not a bad thing to do here. Use your other mana to get the color you need. So that's cool. Pacifism, definitely a great if you're splashing white for whatever God knows reason. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. Undead Servant, another decent pickup if you're drafting. 4 mana for a 3/2. When Undead Servant enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each Undead Servant in your graveyard. So you can do a little, most likely in limited, you're not going to see a whole bunch of these, probably. But just the fact that you put 5/4 and toughness on the board for 4 is pretty good. Boreal Elemental, Air Elemental, big old beefy 4/4 flyer for 5, and it's an elemental, so it gets all those buffage. Overgrown Elemental. This card is seeing play in multiple formats. It's actually quite good. 3 mana for a 3/2. When Overgrowth Elemental enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on another target elemental, so you can't buff itself. Whenever another creature you control dies, you gain a life. If that creature was an elemental, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So there's definitely some cool things you can do with that. Thought distortion. Spell cannot be countered. I always like seeing that. Target opponent reveals their hand. Exile all non-creature, non-land cards from that player's hand. I don't think... Yeah, I don't. Bishop of Wings. Definitely seeing some play. 2 white, so white. For a 1/4, whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, which there are several angels in this set, you gain 4 life. Whenever an angel you control dies, create a 1/1 spirit token with flying. So, you know. Oh, and we got a foil Azorius gain land. Oh, and we got an island. Okay. And we got a wolf. All right, we'll do Sorin next. Everyone loves Sorin. What am I pulling a Sorin? Anticipate. I just think it's a good card. Infuriate. I think it's an okay card. Fathom Fleet Cutthroat. Actually a playable card. 4 mana for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature and opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. So second main, play this after combat. Boom. Blow something up. Feral Evocation. 3 mana. It is a flash enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. So you can do a little combat trick with that. 3 mana is expensive. But for a combat trick, keep your dude alive, kill their dude. All right. Leafkin Druid, can't speak highly enough of this one. There's another Bastion Foot Soldier. Shock, we all love Shock. Healer of the Glade. Now this card, I've got a lot of mixed reviews from people. Honestly, I don't see a problem with it if you're playing elementals. It's only a 1/2 for 1, so you already have the value off your 1 mana because you have 2 defense. But you gain 3 life, and it's an elemental, so it gains all the buffs, so you can make it big. I personally like it if you're going elementals. Marauder's Axe, okay. Flame Sweep, 3 mana. Flame Sweep deals 2 damage to each creature except for creatures you control with flying. So Flame Sweep does 2 damage to each creature except for creatures you control with flying. So your ground creatures still get smoked by it, but you know. Corpse Knight. So this was actually an interesting story. I think this card's actually pretty good. It is Orzhov mana. Well, black and white. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. So especially with the combos that bring like zombies into the play, like this is actually quite good. The funny part is the pre-release packs had this printed as a 3/2. At a 2/2, it's maybe playable. At a 3/2, it's a damn slam dunk to play. But it's not a 3/2, it's actually a 2/2. But I could definitely see people trying to get the misprints and trying to cheese the system at tournaments. So if you run into that, just keep in mind, it's a 2/2. Corpse Knight is a 2/2, period. Ember Hauler, 2/2 for 2. Sacrifice Ember Hauler, just deal 2 damage to any target. Cool. There we go. There's our first big boy. So each color has a Cavalier. This is the Cavalier of Dawn, which is the white one. 3 white and 2. I love the artwork on these, by the way. It is a mythic rare. It is a 4/6 with Vigilance. When Cavalier of Dawn enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. So ultimately, you could play this, blow up one of your small dudes, and get yourself a 3/3 as well. When it dies, return target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. I think this is one of the weaker of the Cavaliers, but, you know, if you're drafting and you need a big body that does things, not a bad pickup, but I think it's probably the worst of the Cavaliers. This dude has actually played a bit. Cloudkin Seer. It's an elemental wizard. 3 mana. Flying. And it enters the battlefield. Draw a card for 2/1. And it's foil. So it's pretty. What else we get? Forest. And the token Ajani's Pridemate. Not to be confused by the actual card Ajani's Pridemate. All right, next pack here. Goblins Smuggler. I already saw that. Daybreak Chaplain. So, funny story about Daybreak Chaplain. I played in a tournament, I think a couple years ago, when Boggles was really big. And I played this person, and we were playing, and he's like, it was a he, I believe. He was like, Daybreak Chaplain, go. And we played out, and I beat him 2-0. And at the end, I said, are you sure that deck was meant to have Daybreak Chaplain in it? And he's like, yeah. This is the Boggles deck, blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to have Daybreak Chaplain in it. And I said, are you sure autocorrect on whatever site you ordered that on did not screw you over? Because I'm pretty sure the awesome card for Boggles is actually called Daybreak Coronet. Oh, no, it's this one. So I pulled up the phone, and I pulled up, I believe, Reed Duke's Pro Tour winning Boggles deck. And I'm like, Daybreak Coronet. Yeah. He's like, oh, crap. And I'm like, yeah, you only wasted a couple cents, but it really hurts the deck. Metropolis Sprite, flying 1/2. It can get +1 +1 -0 until end of turn for 1 blue. Yeah. Ripscale Predator. It's a 6/5 for 6 with Menace. So for dinos, the dino decks, not too bad, but Soul Salvage. I like this card. I can't say enough about it. If you can get enough of these guys, the Undead Servants, I would play them, but as far as in limited, that's about it though. Pacifism, if you're in white, again, play it. Here's an angel. So if you are lucky to get what was its name that I forget already. Did I throw that in here? I think that was a rare. Did I just chuck it in here? Probably because it's not a good rare, so I'd probably just chuck it in here. Yeah, I did. Bishop of Wings. If you get Bishop of Wings, you can play this angel. It's a 3/2 flyer for 5. Gains 4 life when it comes into play. Bishop of Wings gives you 4 more. Chandra's Outrage, again, I think this is a good card if you're in red for limited. I think it's seen standard play as well. Herald of the Sun, another angel, for 6 mana flying 4/4. For 4 mana, put a 1/1 counter on another target creature, so you can buff your dudes. Gruesome Scourger, I think I screwed that up last time too. Yeah, we've seen this one already, Salvager of Ruin. Thunderkin Awakener is definitely seeing play. It is a elemental, 1 red and 1 for a 1/2 with haste. When Thunderkin Awakener attacks, choose target elemental creature card in your graveyard with toughness less than Thunderkin Awakener's toughness. Return that card to the battlefield tapped and attacking. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next instant. Yeah, so... Yeah. And we got a nice little foil here, Apostle of Puring Light. 2 for a 2 mana for a 2/1 protection from black. Pay 2, exile target from graveyard. You know. We got the Golgari game land and a soldier. Still looking for that other Veil of Summer. Oh, a card I didn't think would ever get reprinted just because they haven't done it for so long. Disenchant! 1 white and 1 destroy target artifact or enchantment. Anticipate, love it. Can't get enough of it. Fire elemental, just like air elemental, only fiery, so it doesn't fly. But a 5/4, 5/4 for 5. It's a body. It's an elemental. When can you go wrong in limited? Thicket Crasher again. Thicket Crasher. We talked about this earlier. I think it's a good card if you're in elementals. Blood Burglar is also a good card. 2/2 with lifelink if it's your turn. So it definitely makes a good little life-linking attacker. You could buff him up and do some combat tricks. The Arcanaut, 4 mana for a 3/2. What else? Unholy Indenture. Again, we talked about this. I don't see necessarily a problem with it, but it doesn't really see play. So a lot of these are definitely draft cards, for sure. It's a core set, it's filler stuff. You get a couple nice bombs, a couple nice cards, but most of it's filler. Marauder's Axe. Sleep Paralysis is actually not a horrible card, especially in limited. Enchant creature for 4 mana. When sleep paralysis enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap. I personally love this card. Yoked Ox. I absolutely love this card. It's a 0/4, so you're like, Davram, why do you love this card? I'll tell you why. Because if you're in white, get all the buffs you can and just pow. Specifically, if I find it in this set, or in this bot, there's a set of gauntlets which allows you to do its power equals its toughness. So you just buff up its toughness and then make it stupid. Portal of Sanctuary, 3 mana, and then it's 1 mana and tap it, return creature you control, and each aura attached to it to their owner's hand. Activate this ability only during your turn. Ancestral Blade, again, I think this is great and limited. It usually gets a removal spell pretty quickly because, you can move it, +1/+1 things. Plus it gives you a 1/1 body. Hand cover, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +0/+2 and has draw a card, then discard a card. So 1 blue, if you're blue-white, you can put this on your Ox with the gauntlets and start making him big. Ooh, we got a temple, our first temple. We got the Orzhov Temple, a nice little scry land here. Then we got a swamp, and I love the art on this one, by the way. I love the art on this. It looks really cool. It's the elemental bird that the Planeswalker Mew Yun Li, whatever her name is, I can't remember now. It's the one that she casts. Let me get her up here. That Planeswalker. This is the token she creates. So I think it looks nice. All right, moment of heroism. Bone to Ash. If anyone wants to hear or talk about any of these cards as I'm going through, ones that we've already seen, I'm just kind of reading the names and moving on because it'll take forever to get through all these packs if I talk about each one every single time. So if there's something that you want to hear or see, just yell at me. I'll stop at the ones we haven't seen yet. Barony Vampire, which we haven't seen yet. There are vampires. That's another tribe that they kind of brought back a little bit in this. It's 1 black and 2 for a 3/2. There's our bear. That's an elf. Another Marauder's Axe. Sleep paralysis. Take it. Oh, there's my ox. Here's one that we haven't seen yet, which is see and play. Gorging Vulture, 1 black and 2, flying. When Gorging Vulture enters the battlefield, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. You gain 1 life for each creature card put into your graveyard this way. It's a 2/2. Definitely good for dredge and graveyard decks. Growth Cycle. Green things doing green things. Wolf Rider Saddle, same thing. Uncaged Fury. This card. If we take a moment here, the Risen Reef. Talk about a card that is just amazing in the formats it's in. It is Simic, so green and blue, and 1 for a 1/1 elemental. When Risen Reef or another elemental card enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't put the card onto the battlefield, put it into your hand. Look, you don't even have to reveal it. You just look at the top card of your library, put it in the field. Look at the top card, put it in your hand. Great card advantage. Great. Shared Summons. We haven't seen this rare yet, but it's 2 green and 3. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards with different names. Reveal them, put into your hand, and shuffle. Island and a wolf. Leaning over forward, man, hurts the back. By the way, guys, I know since you've got the semi crotch shot here, would you like to see my balls? Because it's right there on the screen. Look, my balls are on the screen. Look, I want to drink my balls. Delicious. Delicious. Look at those calf muscles, chat. Look at those calf muscles. Those are beautiful. All right. What do we got next? Ajani. I haven't seen the Planeswalkers yet, aside from Chandra. It's kind of disappointing. I don't really play with Planeswalkers with the decks I play. But I like opening them. Alright, we got Moment of Heroism. Negate, which if you don't know what Negate does, it's a counterspell. Non-creature counterspell specifically. We haven't seen this one yet. Goblin Bird Grabber. That sounds dirty. 1 red and 1 for a 2/1. Then it's a red mana. Goblin Bird Grabber gains flying until end of turn. Activate this ability only if you control a creature with flying. Basically, this goblin is grabbing a hold of the other creature with flying. The art is priceless. Oh, there's our Daybreak Chaplain. The Audacious Thief. This guy actually has some degenerate things like I talked about earlier with life gain, life loss stuff. So whenever he attacks, you draw a card and lose a life. So there's definitely some things you can do with that, especially in standard, to do some degenerate things. So Plummet, for those of you who are not aware, it's 1 green and 1, destroy target creature with flying. And I love the art on this one. I think this one's art's actually, quite good. It's a pretty little kitty, and we all know how much I love kitties. Chandra's Ember Cat. It is actually a elemental cat. 1 red and 1, tap it, add a red to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast an elemental spell or a Chandra Planeswalker spell. So quite good. I like it, especially in elemental decks with Chandra. Prismite, another card that like I've talked about before, I think is quite good, especially in limited, but that's probably it. Pacifism, Befuddle. All right, I like these kind of cards, especially in limited. Again, probably why I lose limited, so don't take my advice. 1 blue and 2. Target creature gets -4, -0 until end of turn, and you get to draw a card. I just love the draw a card piece. Lightning Stormkin, definitely seeing some play. It's the Izzet colors, so red and a blue. Flying Haste, 2/2. So 2/2 for 2. Flying Haste. It's good. This card is definitely seeing quite a bit of play. The Brineborn Cutthroat, 1 blue and 1. It has flash, so that's always kind of cool. Whenever you cast a spell during your opponent's turn, put a +1/+1 counter on your Cutthroat. So it's really nice because obviously if you're playing blue, you're doing a lot of counters. If you're playing Izzet, you're doing burns and counters. So you're going to be putting a lot of counters on this. It's even seeing modern play, so that's cool. What's up, Apothecary? How are you doing, my dear? How was your day? Apothecary. Welcome back, Spider. Apothecary. Don't tell anyone, but I know you were not here just a moment ago. But look, I put my balls on stream. I just pulled out my balls and put them on stream. Look at that right there. Right in your face, right there. Right there. There was a sale, I'm sorry. There was a sale. 4-pack for like $6. Yes, ma'am. We haven't seen this one yet. Devout Decree, 1 white and 1. It's a sorcery speed. Exile target creature or planeswalker that's black or red. Scry 1. You had some balls today? Did you like what I'm drinking here, or you know? Oh, I can't believe I opened one of these. Leyline of the Void. This card has increased in value so much. It's being played everywhere. 2 black and 2. If Leyline of the Void is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. If a card would be put into opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. The blue bottle with the barbs on it. That sounds like a sex toy. But I know what you're talking about. I actually get the sugar-free kind, which is the white bottle, the clear bottle. But I've tried them all at some point in my life. Definitely a sex toy. We got the Dimir Gainland, and we got a soldier. But yeah, I've tried them all. I really liked the green bottle, which I believe is like a ginger. I like that one a lot. I think that one's good. They're hard to find though. Like I know there's one computer place that sells them. I believe some Krogers sell them. Reduced to Ashes. Squad Captain. We haven't seen this one. I like this one a lot in Limited. Especially if you're running a heavy creature deck, which most people do. It's a 5 mana for a 2/2 Vigilance. But, I mean, that seems like a lot, right? Squad Captain enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counter out for each other creature you control. I personally think that's excellent in Limited. Here's the skeleton I was telling you about that you can combo with that altar to make a ridiculous amount of demons, 5/5 demons. It is the this skeleton right here, and there's the cost. It's 2 and a black to return him from the graveyard to a hand. He costs 1. So for 4 mana, you basically can just And by that point in the game, you're going to have plenty. So, Brightwood Tracker, we looked at him earlier. Excellent card in limited. Same with Cloudkin Seer. Tectonic Rift has been reprinted, I think, before, if I remember right. But destroy target land, creatures without flying can't block this turn, so it's pretty cool. Went to Richmond today. There was a store that sells only obscure sodas and nostalgic candy. They had a whole section of balls. Balls as the eye could see. Yep, that's you're describing me. Was the shop called Davram? And I believe the shop you're referring to is a place called Rocket Fizz. We haven't talked about this card either. It is a Siege or Sedge Scorpion. Death Touch 1/1. This is a great card in limited. Literally 1 mana. They don't want to block it. They don't want to attack into it. Yeah, it's best for a defender. Vial of Dragonfire. We talked about that already. I actually in my vlog. For Origins, we went in there. My group and I went in there to hear the one in Columbus, and it was kind of cool. Like I shouldn't, but I got a bottle of soda just because I wanted to. But yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool place. The one in Columbus has comic book prints all over the wall. And you can buy it. I walked out with like 4 or 5 different Green Lantern prints. Zephyr Charge. We haven't seen this one yet. It's a 1 blue and 1. Target creature gains flying until end of turn. Yeah. I mean, Scholar of Ages. We've seen that one already. Disfigure. We've seen that one already. Mask of Immolation. I kind of like this. It's like the new Mortipod, only it's an enchantment, not a creature. It's a chain. I'm so sheltered. Yeah, it is. It is. It is definitely. I've got a card. Like, I got a little membership card thing. Frequent flyer. Only, I don't know if I'll probably go there. Because I'll be in Columbus this weekend for the Star City Games Open. So I might go there then. But yeah, if I've got the little card in my wallet. Frequent flyer mile, I guess. Mask of Immolation, it's really like the new Mortipod. It's 1 red and 1. When Mask of Immolation enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. Then attach Mask of Immolation to it. Equipped creature has sacrificed this creature, deal 1 damage to any target, and you can equip it to multiple things. So you can just move around. Planar Cleansing, basically expensive Wrath of God. Only, yeah. It's 6 mana, destroy all non-land permanents. We got a Foil Forest! That one actually looks kind of cool. Then we got a Simic, gain land, and a Spirit token. Oh, we're probably halfway through the box. This one's being a pain to open. There we go. See, Apothecary, we'll have to take a trip to Columbus together and go to one. Raise the Alarm. I don't think we've talked about this one yet. 1 white and 1... oh, yeah, we did. 2 1/1 Soldier Chosen. Also went to One-Eyed Jax. So, you put something in your mouth that was blue and ribbed, named Balls. And then you went to a place with One-Eyed Jax. You had a good weekend. Negate, reduce to ashes, Squad Captain, Blood Burglar, Thick Crasher, Befuddle, Centaur Courser. Sorcerer of the Fang. Master's Splicer. We haven't seen this one yet. Not horrible. It's a 4-mana card. When it enters the battlefield, create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact. So you're paying 4 mana. You're getting 4 mana, or you're getting 4 power and toughness. But the other thing is, golems you control have a +1/+1. This actually doesn't work. This actually works decently with Cavalier of Dawn, because if you can get another golem, this gives you a golem. They all get +1/+1. Not too bad if you can muster getting that. Yeah, your kids with it. Oh, now that got really inappropriate and kinky then, like super inappropriate and kinky. We haven't seen this guy. This is the guy that can tutor for those artifacts that I was telling you about earlier, like the vial and stuff. 1 blue and 1, tap it, add 2 colorless, spend this mana only to cast artifact spells or activate artifact abilities. A blue and tap it, search your library for a card named Heartpiercer Bow, Vial, or Dragonfire. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Harry Potter's Wand. And this one, someone played me at the pre-release that had this, and it's kind of cool. They're doing some crossovers now between D&D and Magic. They did a D&D campaign revolving around the world of Ravnica, and now we're starting to see some things from D&D come into Magic cards. So we've got Bag of Holding. Oh, did I get you dancing? Nice. The Bag of Holding, it's a 1 mana. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. 2 and tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. 4 and tap it, sacrifice Bag of Holding, return all cards exiled with Bag of Holding to their owner hand. So if you get this out on turn 1, anything that you discard, you exile to Bag of Holding, which yeah, so that's pretty sweet. And I just saw that we got something nice here. A foil Cavalier of Flame. That is beautiful right there. Nice. Rare and a mythic rare in this pack. 3 red and 2. It's an elemental knight. Comes in as a 6/5. Yeah. 1 red and 1. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. When Cavalier of Flame enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards, then draw that many. When Cavalier of Flame dies, it deals X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control, where X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. This card is beautiful. Love it. And then we got the Is It Gainland and an element. So, how long were you gone, Apothecary? Did you take like just a weekend trip? Was that all you did? All right, next pack here. The Fortress Crab. Scorcher Spitter, which I think is an okay card. Inspired Charge, which I think is kind of a crappy card. Feral Abomination. Monolith or Mammoth Spider. We haven't seen this one yet. It's a 3/5 for 5 with reach, which is really nice in this format because there's a lot of flying. Healer of the Glade, which again I think is a pretty good card if it's like the fairy. Like the Fairy Miscreant. If you need to take it, take it. It's got some heal on it. It's got some stuff. How much is that mythic foil worth? I'm not 100% sure. Let me look it up here. Let's just take a peek. It's cheap. I think it's only seeing limited play, so it's not going to be that much. Oh, actually, it's $6. Yeah, the foil one's $6. Yeah, that's $6 card. So not bad. Not bad. Yeah, it looks nice. The expensive one is the pre-release foil promo. That's the one that's $12. There's only a couple cards in this set that are actually worth quite a bit. To be honest, it's a core set, so there's a couple. There were a couple nice little slam dunks though. So there's Bone to Ash. By the way, welcome Nuker. Welcome. If you just piped in chat, I'll say welcome to you. Reckless Airstrike. Raise the Alarm. Negate. Barony Vampire. Gift of Paradise, actually. If you're green and you want to splash another color, this is great and limited. It allows you to enchant your land. You gain 3 life. Plus, that land has add 2 of any one color, right? So, even if you put this on like a forest, you can tap it for 2 red. Or 2 plains or whatever. You can't mix and match. It has to be the same color, but that's nice. If you're drafting and you see this pop up and you have any inclination of going into black, take this card. It's great. It's great. Destroy target creature for 3 mana. You haven't played since Mirage, huh? I've played off and on since Portal. I've played semi-competitively off and on as well. I'm trying to get back into that. I'm actually, the reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to find a couple cards for this weekend at the Star City Game Open in Columbus. I'll be there, and then I'll also be competing at Gen Con next weekend. So, Dawning Angel, we found one of the cards we needed. Chandra's Cat, which, let's be honest, it's cute. It's adorable. It's adorable. Centaur Courser. I love this card, but I hate this card at the same time because of its quick cost. But it's great art. It's like a dwarf holding a giant hammer. Barkhide Troll. We haven't seen this one for a bit. Or we haven't seen this one at all, actually. 2 green. Enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. 1 colorless. Remove a 1/1 counter from Barkhide Troll. Barkhide Troll gains hexproof into end of turn. So he comes in as a 3/3 for 2. And you can protect him with hexproof for one of his counters. So, not bad. Here's the gauntlets I was talking to you about. Going on the Ox, which is actually kind of nice. Because the Ox is an 0/4, which with these gauntlets, he automatically becomes a 6/6. So so the gauntlets here are 1 white and 2. Enchanted creature gets +0, +2, and assigns combat damage equal to toughness rather than power. Plus, it has a 1 white and 2 to untap that creature. So basically, if you put this on the Ox becomes a 6/6 effectively. You swing 6 damage, or blocked or whatever, 6 damage. Then on your second, main phase, or on their turn, because this doesn't have to be cast as a sorcery. On their turn, they enter combat and declare attackers. You pay this, untap it, and declare it as a blocker. Or another thing that also this comes in handy with all the sleep paralysis, the frost links. They tap down your dude, and it says doesn't untap on its next, or doesn't untap. If this is on the card, you can pay and untap the card. So this gets around some of those tap and cannot untap effects. So personally, I like this, especially in limited, because there's a lot of those. There's a lot of that. Dawn of Dreams is actually seeing some play. 2 blue and 2. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put 2 of them in your hand and put the rest on the bottom. So dig through time at sorcery speed. And dig through time's banned. So that tells you how powerful that type of effect is. And we got a plains And we got Chandra Awakened Inferno token. We haven't opened Chandra Awakened Inferno. Actually, I think I have one in my binder. Yes, I have one in my binder, but there's her token. Wow, I have another pile right here that I apparently didn't get through. Cloudkin Seer. Destructive Digger. We haven't seen this one yet. 1 red and 2. And then its ability, it's a 3/2, and its ability is 3 and tap it, sacrifice an artifact or a land and draw a card. Doesn't really see that much play, but it has some things it can do. Griffin Protector. Stone Golem, I think, is just, unless you're just trying to get a decent sized filler and he's colorless, so if you're splashing a lot of things, not too bad, but 5 for a 4/4 is kind of now he is a golem, so Master Splicer does work with him, so that's kind of Howling Giant. This is actually a card that I think is pretty good in Limited. It's 2 green and 5. It has reach. It's a 5/5, so it can take care of most of the flyers in the format. When he enters the battlefield, create 2 2/2 green wolf creatures. So you're paying 7 mana and getting 7 power on the battlefield. 3 blockers or attackers, and this one has reach. So in Limited, this is great. I like it. Unchained Berserker. We haven't seen this one yet. 1 red for a 1/1. It is pro white, and it gets +2/+0 as long as you're attacking. Looks like a photo. Yeah, they have some interesting art choices on a couple of these cards, but yeah, it does. It does look like a photo. Yeah. There's definitely some interesting art choices that they've made on several of these cards. Aether Gust, definitely seeing some play. 1 blue and 1. Choose target spell or permanent that's red or green. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of the library, so it's a choice. So they get to choose. But it's a bounce card. It's definitely seeing some play. But yeah. And then our rare in this, actually, I haven't seen this rare yet. Really nice looking art form, I think, on it. It is a Sphinx, which we haven't seen Sphinxes for a while in Magic that I can remember. 3 blue and 3 for Artemis, or what? Artemisis. Artemisis? Whatever. The All-Seeing. It's a legendary creature, Sphinx, flying. It's 4/5. 2 and a blue, tap it, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Whenever Artemis is All-Seeing deals damage to an opponent, you may reveal your hand. If cards with at least 6 different converted mana costs are revealed that way, that player loses the game. Not bad in Limited. It's cool artwork, though. If you draft a whole bunch of like one-of cards with a whole bunch of different converted mana costs. What does that even mean? So if I attack with this, so if I attack and I deal damage, 1 damage, 4 damage, however much damage, I, the player that's attacking, reveals my hand. All right? So I need to have at least 6 cards in my hand. So let me get 6 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 1 more. Nope. There. 6. All right. So I've got 6. So I attack, I do damage. I then reveal my hand. I have 6 cards in my hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it says, if you have at least 6 different converted mana costs are revealed this way, that player loses the game. So if I reveal this, I have 6 cards. There's 1 mana, so that's 1 converted mana cost. Here's one with 3 converted mana cost. Here's one with 4 converted mana cost. 5 converted mana cost. 7 converted mana cost, 2 converted mana cost, they lose the game. Yeah. But one thing that you got to be careful with is, like, for example, if you have these two in your hand, this one's a green and this one's a blue 1. They're the same converted mana cost, right? 2 and 2. Right. Yeah, converted mana cost has become something of the lingo more recently. It just adds up. You just add up the mana that you have to pay as the converted mana cost. Right. So probably not too playable. Probably playable and limited, but nothing else. Swamp and a Golem token. No, it's with and without color. So this one's converted mana cost of 2. See, 2 green. This one's converted mana cost 2. It's just blue and 1. This one's 7. You just add up the number of colorless plus the land. Yep. Oh, you ran away. Our little photo dude ran away. Yeah, because there's another card out there in this set maybe that it's actually looking at different types of converted mana cost, and it actually gives you an example. So for an example, it's looking for the same thing, and it comes in with tokens. So it does the same thing that she does, only instead of that person losing, it comes in with that many tokens. Which personally, and that it's looking at your graveyard, which in my opinion is easier to do than having a hand full of 6. I mean, look at her mana cost is 6. Like, that's a late game card. Late game, you usually don't have 6 cards in your hand. Just saying. Just saying. Goblin Bird Grabber, which again, I love the artwork. He's literally hanging onto a bird. Love it. Aerial Assault we haven't seen, and this card is actually really good in limited. I think it's seeing play in standard as well, because it's a white removal card. 1 white and 2, destroy target tapped creature. You gain 1 life for each creature you control with flying. So that's pretty cool. Convolute, we've seen that one already. Blade Brand. Mammoth Spider. Destructive Digger. Griffin Protector. Stone Golem. Leaf Kindred. I just can't speak highly enough of this card in standard and in limited right now. Like, it's a mana dork with 3 toughness. Ugh, love it. Frost Lynx. It's a Llanowar Elf? Yeah, but Llanowar Elves are 1/1s. This is an 0/3. And if you have 4 or more creatures, it produces 2 mana instead of 1. So especially with green, with all the creatures out there, like, this thing can ramp you quite nicely. And it gets around the most classic removal spell right now in standard, which is Shock. It gets around Shock because it has 3 toughness. What do we got? The Lynx, the Frost Lynx. Cryptic Caves is, I believe this is the one, right? Draw, yeah. So this one's actually, I kind of like this land, especially for limited. It adds 1, I remember Lightning Bolt. I still play Lightning Bolt, so I'm right there with you. Best card in Magic. Yeah, it's, I mean, I won't say it's too powerful, but it definitely dictates what you put in your deck, because you always have to keep in mind lightning bolts are everywhere. So if you're not putting creatures in your deck with toughness greater than 3, they're just going to get bolted. So Cryptic Caves I kind of like. It's a land. It comes into play regular, so you can do everything that it wants to do. It taps for a colorless, or you can pay 1 and tap, sacrifice it to draw a card. But you can only activate this ability if you control 5 or more lands. So you sacrifice this, and you have 4 lands left, but you get to draw a card off it. So I think it's kind of cool. This card's actually seeing a lot of play. I really like this card as well. 1 black and blue and 1. It's a 1/3 with Death Touch and Lifelink. And whenever it enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card, then discard a card. So it's Death Touch, Lifelink, and it gives you the ability to cycle cards. So, I mean, what more do you want? Like, this is perfect. And it's a zombie. Mask of Immolation, again, I think this is great. It's the new Mortipod. I think it's great for sideboards, but, that's my opinion. Icon of Ancestry. This one has a lot of text on it. I don't know how I feel about it. It's 3 mana. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. So it's kind of like Call of Arms or Coat of Arms, right? Creatures you control of that chosen type get +1/+1. Okay, that's cool, right? That's cool. Pay 3 and tap it. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card of the chosen type from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's really not bad. But in limited, maybe if you're doing elementals, I guess, give the pump. I could definitely see this in some, like, tribal other decks, though. The problem is with tribal is just so hard to pull off nowadays. And in other formats, like elementals, you have angels, you've got humans, goblins. It's just with a 60 card deck and 75 card sideboard, there are so many important cards to have in your deck. It's hard to get this guy in here, right? Like if you do maybe a tribal like commander deck or tiny leaders deck or something like that, I could see maybe using this. But with a 60 card deck, you're slamming so many important cards in your deck. You don't have room for something like this. Maybe put it in the sideboard, I guess, but I just don't know. I think it would be good for casual. We got a plains and another zombie. All right. Let's open a Sorin. I think we're just past the halfway point on this box. We'll make a good time. We still only got one of the cards that I need so far, though. Come on, M20. Scorch, Spitter, Steadfast Century. Wow, we haven't seen this dude since the very first pack. Man, we've seen a couple of Lavakin Brawlers, though. They're really good in limited, I would think. Bladebrand, Natural End. Undead Servant. There's the kitty. I like the kitty. I also like Prismite. I think it's really good. Pacifism. I like this Eagle, too, which is definitely seeing some play. Portal of Sanctuary. Noxious Grasp is seeing a lot of play. It's a black and 1. Destroy target creature or planeswalker that's green or white, and you gain a life. So this is really nice because it targets things like Nissa in Standard. It targets things like Teferi in Standard. So yeah, this one definitely has definitely some good playability in Standard. Yes! There he is! He's back. He's back. Sorin the Imperious Bloodlord. 3 mana Planeswalker, 1 black and 2. Yeah, he does look like a photo. He's actually, it actually looks very statue-esque. He actually looks like a hardened statue. Let's see. Let's read him first, and I'll check out how much he's worth. He starts with 4 loyalty. His +1 target creature you control gains Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. If it's a vampire, it also gets +1/+1, a counter, not just +1/+1, but it gets a counter So that lasts past into turn. He's got a second +1, which I got to get close because it's in gray, so I can't read it barely. You may sacrifice a vampire. When you do, Sorin Impetuous Bloodlord deals 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life. And then his -3, you may put a vampire creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Let's take a look at what he's worth. There are definitely vampire decks going around right now. So I would assume he would be worth, a little bit, but not a huge amount. Just because, he's very limited as far as where he can be played. Actually, I was wrong. He's 18 bucks. Yeah, foil was 35, and he's 18. And based on the site, Star City Games is out of stock of him. So I will definitely be dropping by their booth at their event this weekend and selling him, probably. Gainland for Orzhov and Ajani's Pridemate token. I wish that was a foil. I'll tell you the card I wish was a foil. I just sold Renin 6 that I got from Modern Horizons. Renin 6 is currently worth $90 non-foil. And I just sold mine today. I was hoping that was be foil. I opened that. My YouTube video of me opening that is there. What's that card do? It's a Planeswalker. It's a red-green Planeswalker. It's just 1 red and 1 green. Ren. I think it's R-I-N. R-I-N. The Ren of... That's R. All right. I know I'm spelling it wrong. Oh, I did spell it wrong. It has a W. Ha! So Renin 6 is being played in Jund. It's also being played in Legacy, land destruction stuff. But Renin 6, yeah, it's currently $90 for non-foil, $300 for foil. It is 1 green and 1 red for a Planeswalker with 3 loyalty. Its +1 is return up to 1 target land card from your graveyard to your hand. His -1 is Renin 6 deals 1 damage to any target. And his -7 is you get an emblem with instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard have retrace. He's absolutely brutal in land destruction decks. And then retrace is great. So yeah, $300 for the foil version if you pull that out of a Modern Horizon. Active Treason again. If you're splashing red in limited, draft it. Squad Captain, our new form of bear, right there, 2/2 for 2. Pack Mastiff. This art just drives me nuts. Like what? It's an angry Pomeranian. That is what it is. It's an angry Pomeranian. That in no way says Mastiff to me. Like, I understand Mastiffs are big and fluffy, but that thing says brown Pomeranian to me. Look. I don't know. Maybe Mastiff owners out there would say that looks like a Mastiff. But to me, it looks like a Pomeranian. Its back is even... I don't know. Soulmender. Vial of Dragonfire. Agonizing Siphon. Healer of the Glade. I like the art on this one. The Cloudkin Seer. I think it's really cool. An Elemental Wizard. Loaming Shaman. We haven't seen this one yet. It's a green and 2 for a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, target player shuffles any number of cards from their graveyard into their library. So it definitely has some play in discard decks, or ways to get around discard decks. If you put this in your sideboard, people are trying to mill you out, because it says any number of target cards, right? So therefore, if you almost get milled out and you get this, you can shuffle everything back in and force the mill player to keep playing. Now this card, I need a playset of them. This card is being played everywhere, and it's because of Teferi. But it's 1 red and 1. It can't be countered, and it deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker that's white or blue. So Teferi, Narset. This will not rotate out, and we're getting Elspeth back in the next set in the fall. So this right here will stick around for a while to knock out those annoying planeswalkers. Chandra Spitfire, I'm kind of iffy on this one. It's a 1 red for 2 it's a flying elemental 1/3. Whenever an opponent is dealt non-combat damage, Chandra Spitfire gets +3, +0 until end of turn. So basically, you need to do this like pre-combat or declare attacks, right? Well, I guess it's the combat damage. I don't know combat step yet. So you need to do like damage to the player like pre-combat, and then it would buff this 3 to make it a 3/3, a 4/3, and then you can swing in the air. I don't know. I'm not sold on the Spitfire, really. Our rare in this one is the Starfield Mystic. It's 1 white and 1 for a 2/2. It's a human cleric. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Starfield Mystic. So there's some things you could do with this, for sure. We did get a foil here, foil uncommon. We haven't actually seen this one yet. Warder of Evos Isle. It's a 1 blue and 2 for a 2/2 flying. Creature spells with flying you cast cost 1 less. So in this set's actually not too bad, because there's a lot of flying in this set. So not too bad for limited. I'm not seeing it in anything else. Forest and another Golem token. Come on. We're getting to the bottom of this box, and I've only got 1 of the 2 cards. Actually, I need another 2 cards, and we haven't seen it yet. One of them's a rare, though. The other one's like uncommon. If not, I'm going to have to go back and get them tomorrow. Let's see here. Scorch Spitter. Seen that one already. Steadfast Century. Sage's Row. We already see that guy. Soul Salvage, which is nice. I like that card. Thicket Crasher. Blood Burglar. Our bear. We haven't seen this one, actually. Netcaster Spider. It's 1 green and 2 with reach. It's a 2/3. Whenever it blocks a creature with flying, it gets +2, +0. So it becomes a 4/3 when it blocks flying. So that's actually really nice in this format because it can take out most of the things flying. So that's nice. Befuddle. Howling Giant, which we've seen. There's the one that Nuker called out that was looked like a picture. It very much does. Unchained Berserker. Hand Cover. An Agent of Treachery. This is actually the second copy of this I have, and there's some decks in Standard that are building around this. I actually used it quite effectively at the pre-release, but it's a 5 mana or 5 colorless 2 blue. When Agent of Treachery enters the battlefield, gain control of target permanent. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more permanents you don't own, draw 3 cards, and it's a 2/3. So, I mean, I mean, you have to have a couple of these guys or use Active Treason. You could use Active Treason with this and get to that point at the end of your turn. But the nice part about this is, like, the draw 3 cards, in my opinion, is not not that great, but it's board control, right? You permanently take over one of their dudes. So in limited, I think this is really nice because the amount of good dudes that you have in limited is not always that great. If they put like a big rotting Registar or something on the table, you can just take it away and then attack them with it. So there's that. We got a nice little foil vial of Dragonfire, so that's kind of cool. That actually looks really nice with how they did the foil on that one. Planes and another Chandra Awakened Inferno token. All right. Inspired Courage. Octo Prophet, which again, I can't speak highly enough of this in limited as well. The Scry 2 is beautiful. Soul Salvage. The Mammoth Spider. The Griffin Protector. I've seen enough of those. Stone Golem. Leafkin Druid. Beautiful. Beautiful. Frost Lynx. The Daggersail Arcanaut. Unholy Indenture. Herald of the Sun. Moldervine Reclamation. That's only the second one of those we've seen tonight. Stampeding Scorcher. There she is. The 6 mana Chandra that we've gotten 2 tokens of right there. Chandra Awakened Inferno. The mythic Chandra of the set. There are 4 Chandras in this set. Is there a comma after that? So I like the uncommon or the rare one, which we opened a little earlier. But this one's actually really nice right now. It's $30, so that's actually a nice little win for us. Chandra Awakened Inferno, 2 red and 4 for a legendary Planeswalker Chandra. It starts with 6 loyalty. This spell cannot be countered, which first off is beautiful. Her +2 is each opponent gets an emblem. This is her +2. I repeat, her +2. Each opponent gets an emblem. At the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. That's a +2. They can stack. Basically, every time your upkeep comes around, however many emblems are across your board, you're taking a damage. Her -3, Chandra Awakened Inferno deals 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. So great for elemental decks. Her -X, Chandra Awakened Inferno deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. So she is a really nice planeswalker to have. Swamp and that stupid demon that killed me multiple times at the preview. We got some nice cha-ching. We got some nice cheddar. Nice cheddar cheese. All right. Ripscale Predator. Disenchant, the ever popular. Anticipate. Fire Elemental. Duress. I love Duress. Brightwood Tracker. Bone Splinters. Plummet. Netcaster Spider. Again, a card getting played even in Modern. Brianhorn Cutthroat. There's some Crypt Caves again. I left the other Crypt Caves down in there somewhere. Woodland Champion. Actually, I got one of these two guys too. Kethis, the Hidden Hand. He's a mythic. He's actually in a couple commander decks, I think. He's black, he's green, and he's white. He's an elf advisor. Legendary spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard. Until the end of turn, each legendary card in your graveyard gains. You may play this card from your graveyard. So definitely a cool commander card. Oh, and we got a foil rare in the Wake Root Elemental. 2 green and 4 for a 5/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green. Untap target land you control. It becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste until, and it's still a land. So that's kind of cool. Blossoming Sands, the Selesnya Gainland, and an elemental. I'm curious how much this guy's worth. Kethis. I already have one. He's cheap. $2.30. I figured he wouldn't be worth that much because I think the only deck that's really playing him is Commander deck. Let's move that pile over there because I'm out of space before they start to topple. I love how the back of the token card says, popular Magic format, standard. The format uses 60 card decks made up of the most recently released Magic sets. Booster draft. Players open a booster pack to take turns picking cards from boosters to build into a 40 card deck. And then Commander. Each player chooses a legendary creature to be their commander and builds a 99 card deck around that creature. Where's Modern? Modern is, in my opinion, way more popular than Commander, but that's just my opinion. Angelic Gift. What is it? Metropolis Sprite. The Keldon Raider. Aerial Assault. Fathom Fleet Cutthroat. I think we've seen probably most everything now, except rares and mythics. Feral Evocation. Duress. Wolfkin Bond. Netcaster Spider, Undead Servant, Warden Evos Isle. Oh, we haven't seen this one yet. Pattern Matcher. It's a 4 colorless for a 3/3 artifact golem. When Pattern Matcher enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card with the same name as another creature you control, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. That's kind of cool. Oh, we haven't seen this one either. Sky Knight Vanguard. It's a Boros, human knight. It's a 1/2. Flying, whenever Sky Knight Vanguard attacks, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token that's tapped and attack. And it doesn't say till end of turn, so they just keep flooding in. Steel Overseer. This guy's been reprinted. He's definitely worth a little bit. Not too much, though, especially non-foil. He is a 2 mana for a 1/1. Tap him, put a 1/1 counter on each artifact creature you control. Definitely good if you can get it in draft format. You tap it, you just keep putting counters on him. Make him bigger. We got the Gruul Gainland and a Soldier token. Curious how much Steel Overseer is worth. Yeah, $3. I figured he wasn't going to be worth that much. He's played in some decks, but he's not played across the board. And his older ones are definitely worth more. Like the Magic 2011 set foil is worth $25. The Masterpiece Series Kaladex Invention is worth $60. All right, Inspired Courage. Octoprophet, Feral Abomination, Mammoth Spider, Battalion Foot Soldier, Winged Words, which I love if you're in blue drafting, draft wing words. Nice. Unholy Indenture, Griffin Sentinel, Agonizing Siphon, Lightning Stormkin, which again, good card. Diviner's Lockbox, Yarok's Finlurker, and our rare here is Golos, the Tireless Pilgrim. He's 5 mana for a 3/5. When he enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. He also has an ability, 2 colorless, white, blue, black, red, and green. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn without paying their mana cost. So he definitely has, I definitely think he has a place. I think Commander would be a nice place for him. Unfortunately, he's 5 mana, so you can't put him in there. But the additional colors down here would definitely lead him to being Commander. But unfortunately, at 5 mana, you're not going to see him there. Inspired Charge Foil, a Mountain, and a Wolf. Uh-oh. We're down to how many we got left? We're down to just a chat. We're our booster box. That's all that's left in it. It's empty. We only have, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've opened 27 booster packs so far. And we're still missing 2 cards. Watch, we're gonna get through all of this, and I'm not gonna get the two cards I need still. I'm still gonna have to go back to the shop and get them tomorrow. I told them, I'm like, I'm opening an entire box. If I don't get 2 uncommons and 1 rare, I'll be back tomorrow. They're like, oh, you should be able to get that. Yeah, well, right now it's not looking that way. Bone to Ash, Infuriate, Steadfast Century, Voiced Claw, Feral Abomination, Mind Rot, Sidge Scorpion, which is just draft it. Draft it. Splash green and draft it. Zephyr Charge, Griffin Sentinel, Growth Cycle, and Chandra Novice Pyromancer. We have now completed the three Chandras you can get out of the box, and then the 4th Chandra is in the Planeswalker pack that you can buy a pre-made deck for. So this Chandra is the uncommon Chandra. She is a 4 mana Chandra, red and 3, for a 5 loyalty Planeswalker. +1 elementals you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. For -1 is add 2 red. For -2 is Chandra. Novice Pyromancer deals 2 damage to any target. This is weird. Oh, she's an uncommon. I'm like, shouldn't that be the rare? But no, she's the uncommon. Yarok's Wave Crash. We haven't seen this one either yet. 1 blue and 3. For a 4/4 elemental, when Yarok's Wave Crasher enters the battlefield, return another creature you control to its owner's hand. Okay. Diamond Knight. You haven't seen this one yet either. Maybe I'll get what I want out of one of these packs. It's 3 colorless for a 1/1 Vigilance Knight. As Diamond Knight enters the battlefield, choose a color. Whenever you cast a spell of chosen color, put a +1/+1 counter on Diamond Knight. This guy is BEA beautiful. Someone is going to figure out a way how to break this guy, and I don't know how yet, but it's going to get broken. This is an excellent card to draft. It's definitely showing up in some standard decks, specifically the Vampire deck, but it's 1 black for a 1/2. That's not what's that important. Tap 1 black and 2. Knight of the Ebon Legion gets +3/+3 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. But wait, there's more. At the beginning of your end step, so during your turn, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on him. Black and white have all these great do something, you lose a life, or something like that. All that you have to do is lose 4 life. Even if you gain it back, it just says lose 4 life. If the accumulation at your instep has you have lost 4 life or more at some point during your turn, he gets a +1/+1 counter. Or if the opponent loses 4 life for whatever reason, he gets a +1/+1 counter. Great card. Forest Spirit. That wasn't a bad pickup, but it's still not one of the 2 cards I need. All right. Getting down to the last ones. Fortress Crab. Goblin Bird Catcher. Aerial Assault. Convolute. Audacious Thief. Wolfkin Bond. Sorcerer of the Fang. Unsummon. Again, if you're splashing blue, draft this card. Great. Glaring Aegis. We haven't looked at this one yet. It's 1 white enchant creature. When Glaring Aegis enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. Enchanted creature gets +1/+3. So this plus those gauntlets on your Ox does great work. Murder, great card. Loaming Shaman. Overcome. Rule of Law. 1 white and 2. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. Boom. Shut it down. Leyline of Combustion, our second Leyline that we've opened tonight. 2 red and 2. If Leyline is in your hand, normal Leyline clause, you start the game with it. Whenever you and or at least 1 permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, Leyline of Combustion deals 2 damage to that player. Great in the mirror. Our land is Evolving Wilds, and we got in a Johnny Pridman token. Disenchant. Oh, we haven't seen this one yet. I've seen it in Magic Arena. Moat Piranhas. 3/3 Defender for a blue and 1. Fire Elemental. The Skeleton. Gift of Paradise. Tectonic Rift. Winged Words. Mind Rot. Sedge Scorpion. Zephyr Charge. Fencing Ace. We haven't seen this one yet. Double Strike. 1 white and 1 for a 1/1 Double Strike Soldier. We haven't seen this one yet either. Blight Beetle. 1 black and 1. It's pro green. Creatures you control, creature your opponents control can't have +1/+1 counter. So 1. Noxious Grass. We already talked how good this card is. Leyline of Abundance, our third Leyline. 2 green and 2. It's traditional Leyline clause. Whenever you tap a creature for mana, add additional mana. Add initial green, basically. 6 and 2 green. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Okay. Island and a treasure card. All right, here we go. Here we go. Disenchant. Come on, we got a couple packs left. I just want to get the cards I need. Anticipate. Fire Elemental. Audacious Thief. Plummet. Chandra's Outrage. Glaring Aegis. Unsummon. Sorcerer of the Fang. Fry. I do like getting all these fries. That's nice. I'll use those eventually. Tonebound Lich, which again I think is a great card. Dragon Mage, which I think is a crappy card. We haven't seen him though yet. 2 red and 5 for a 5/5 flying. Whenever Dragon Mage deals combat damage to a player, each player That includes you. Discards their hand, then draws 7 cards. Our rare, and this is Temple of Epiphany. Enters the battlefield, scry 1. It is a Is It land? And we got a foil skeleton, a mountain, and a wolf. Five left to get 2 cards. 5 booster packs left to get 2 cards. Thankfully, I've got a couple $100 in store credit after today's trade-in. So if I need to go back to get them, I can. Moorland Inquisitor. Again, I don't think it's that good. Convolute. Goblin Smuggler. Raise the Alarm. Audacious Thief. Netcaster Spider. Befuddle. Murder. Even Anvil Rot Raptor. So it's a 4 mana for an artifact bird. It's a 2/1 flying with first strike. We haven't seen this one yet. Captivating Gyre. 2 blue and 4. Return up to 3 target creature cards to their owners. We definitely haven't seen this one yet. Eternal Isolation. White and 1. Put target creature with power 4 or greater on the bottom of its owner's library. Bloodthirsty Aerialist. This is definitely in some standard degeneration. Some really cool, like, little combo-y things. 2 black and 1 for a 2/3 flyer. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Bloodthirsty Aerialist. This guy was played on me during the pre-release. Our rare is the Embodiment of Agonies. 2 black and 1 flying Death Touch. He starts as a 0/0, but this is the one I was talking to you about that is like the that Sphinx we got earlier. So Embodiment of Agonies enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each different mana cost among non-land cards in your graveyard. For example, 2 colorless and black counts as 1, and 1 black is a different mana cost. Thus he would enter with 2. So you can buff him up pretty quickly. Right? We got a foil Tomebound Lich, which is kind of cool. The Simic Gainland, and a Soldier. 4 left, 2 cards. 4 left, 2 cards. Come on! Make me lucky for once. Frilled Sea Serpent. Reckless Airstrike. Inspiring Captain. Moat Piranha. Oh, the puppy. Ferocious Pup. Barony Vampire. Plummet. Bone Splinters. Chandra's Ember Cat. Glaring Aegis. Oh, we haven't seen this one yet. Rapacious Dragon? Rapacious Dragon? I don't know. Red and 4 for a 3/3 flying dragon. When he enters the battlefield, create 2 treasure tokens. Kind of cool. Definitely some things you can do with that. Oh, we haven't seen this one yet either. Might of the Masses. 1 green instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature you control. I thought this would be good at Inflict, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to have multiple creatures in play except for 1. So it's not good. Rule of Law? Sure. Sephara Skyblade. This one I think actually has some money behind it. Maybe a little bit. Let's just check. And I'm not typing. SEPH. Safara Skyblade. Nope. Wait. Nope. Only $2. I thought it was worth more. Safara Skyblade is 3 white and 4. You may pay a white and tap 4 untapped creatures you control with flying rather than pay this spell's mana cost. So basically it's got Convoke, flying Convoke. It's flying, lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying have indestructible, and it's a 7/7. Let's see here. This is the Boros Gainland and a zombie. We're striking out, chat. We've got 3 packs left. Goblin Smuggler, Metropolis Sprite, Daybreak Chaplain, Skeleton, Gift of Paradise. What card am I looking for? I'm looking for 1 more Veil of Summer and 1 Grafdigger's Cage. Vial of Dragonfire, Agonizing Siphon, Healer of the Glade, Cloudkin Seer, Destructive Digger, Loyal Pegasus, Grave Digger, Aether Gust, and Field of the Dead, which is actually, I think that one's worth a decent amount right now too. Maybe. Nope. Only $3. Field of the Dead isn't one we've seen yet, but it's a rare land. Comes into play tapped. Tap it to add a colorless. But this is why it's important. When Field of the Dead or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So basically, this with Scape Shift allows you to pump out zombies because you Scape Shift, grab as many of these as you can. You play 1 down, you get a zombie. You play another down, you get 2 zombies. You play another down, you get 3 zombies. Play another one down, you get 4 zombies. Now that's 1, 3, right? 1 zombie, then you get 2 more, and then you get 3 more, and then you get 4 more. And then however many other lands you're adding, mountain, forest, whatever there else to that, you gain 4 times that many zombies each of those. So you can I've seen some games where it's just like, hand me a pack of zombie tokens and I'm just going to lay them across, right? So definitely a card getting played. In Scape Shift. We got the Izzet Gainland, and we have a Soldier. 2 packs to go. All right, here we go. Infuriate. Moonland Inquisitor. Fairy Miscreant. Ripscale Predator. Epicure of Blood. Ferocious Pup. I think it's so cute. It's so cute. Sorcerer of the Fang. Unsummon. Glaring Aegis. Murder. Thrashing Brontodon we actually haven't seen. Green and 1 for a 3/4 dino. 1 mana, sacrifice Thrashing Brontodon, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Goblin Ringleader we haven't seen yet. 1 red and 3 for a 2/2 haste. When Goblin Ringleader enters the battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all Goblin cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest at the bottom of your library. Come on, what I need. Scuttlemutt, another great card in Limited. Scuttlemutt is a 3 mana 2/2. Tap it for add 1 of any mana color that you obviously want. It also has a second tap ability. Target creature becomes the color or colors of your choice until end of turn. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And that's actually not horrible for me. Temple of Mystery. It is the Simic Scryland, so it's a rare land. We got a swamp, and we got a zombie. 1 pack left. What are the odds that both the cards I need are in this last pack? 35 packs, and we got 1 Veil of Summer. I have 2 already. That makes 3. I need 4. What's the chances? I think pretty low with my luck. All right. Daybreak Chaplain. Metropolis Sprite. Ripscale Predator. Lone Splinters. Brightwood Tracker. Gorging Vulture. Growth Cycle. Shock. We haven't seen a shock for a while. Stone Golem. Silverback Shaman. I don't think we're gonna see Veil of Summer. I just have a feeling. Warden of Evos Isle. No, we're not gonna see it. We're not gonna see our 4th Veil of Summer. Pattern Matcher. Oh, come on. At least Grafdigger's Cage. It's the more expensive one anyways. Bloodthirsty Aerialist. I'm not gonna look. Is it what I want? What I want. Bishop of Wings. That's a playset of Bishop of Wings. I don't care about you. And the Izzet Gainland and the stupid demon. Well, 36 packs. We had some decent pulls, to be completely honest. We got 1 of our Veils of Summer. 1 of our Veils of Summer right here. I have 2 already. I think I'm running 4 this weekend, so I do need to go pick up another one. But I have this nice stack of crispy rares that we just opened with several nice ones in there. So we'll definitely be doing a little trade at the store tomorrow to get what we need. So yeah, that's disappointing. But guys, I have been under the weather for a couple days. I'm still not feeling that great. So I am going to cut the stream about an hour early here than we normally do. Normally I'm obviously not opening packs. We're playing games. So thank you everyone who tuned in to watch me open packs. I'm preparing for a large tournament this weekend. So I'm trying to get in the Magic mindset and also to get into the trying to get those cards that I need. So I appreciate everyone tuning in and the conversations that we had. Tomorrow we'll be back on the Game Legion server. So we'll be back playing our Minecraft playthrough tomorrow for YouTube. And then Thursday, we may play Dota Underlords or Minion Masters. I'm not quite sure which. But we probably only do 1 day of Minecraft this week, just so I can put more focus on like strategery thing. But yeah, guys, thank you again for tuning in. If you do like Magic content, please do go over to Davrim Gaming on YouTube, ! YouTube in the chat if you'd just like a link. I do a Friday Night Magic playthrough every single Friday where I do a draft. I talk you through my choices. I'm telling you right now, I'm not the greatest limited player. I know what's good and what is bad, but I can't form a limited deck to win to save my life, so it's always fun and entertaining. But every Friday, I put one of those up on YouTube to do a little Friday Night Magic. I also put up decks for games like Minion Masters. And I also try to vlog any of my tournaments that I go to. So we'll do vlogging probably this weekend, maybe. If not this weekend, next week is Gen Con. So I'll be out at Gen Con. If you're going to Gen Con, please stop by and say hello. I'll be playing in tournaments there. But aside from that, guys, I appreciate it. I'm going to go get some medication and try to get whatever nasally, sinusy thing is going on in my head right now out of it, so I can be well for this weekend. But thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. If you would like to, please do hit that follow button your way out. I would love to have you back. Please go over and check out the YouTubes. They mean a lot to me. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow night around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you then. And please, please, please let me find the magic cards that I need. Bye, guys.